what does the week have in store for you? So what is like the vibe of the week as a whole? What is the vibe of the week as a whole? We have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups, I mean, the first thing that popped into my head was like unseen opportunities, or like maybe paths that you were ignoring, or maybe emotions you were ignoring in the past, like coming up and like slamming it in your face. I mean, in this card, he's not like, you know, being hit or anything with, but I just imagine the like cloud, the universe eventually being like, okay, bitch, like, here is this cup, look at it. Like, I'm shoving it in your face. So the vibe of this week might be like things coming up, things that maybe you've been putting off emotionally, coming up, or just opportunities. I also hear, because cups can represent partnership. So it could be a partnership, especially as a business owner, like a partnership in your business. It could be your personal life, but some type of collaboration or collaborator that maybe you kind of discounted in the past or didn't really think about in the past, coming forward and offering up something. Could be also offering up an apology. I also hear that, in case anyone is waiting for any type of apology. So, with this energy, what is something you should be mindful of? Which maybe it didn't flip over. I feel like I saw a card flip over. Interesting. Ace of Pentacles and Knight of Swords came out. These are actually the two cards that I drew for myself yesterday. So I'm going to put them back, and if they're meant to pop out, they'll pop out. But Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, in case any of these cards spark anything in anyone. But I'm not going to interpret them. If they're meant, they'll come out. Okay. Too many cards are popping out. 1 second. Let me ask a question. What is something to be mindful of this week, especially as these opportunities or past collaborators come back into your presence? Okay, one card. I got 3. Ooh, I got 4. One just fell out and on the ground, so this one will definitely take the Chariot. Interesting. One thing to be mindful of is the Chariot. And the first thing that actually popped into my head when I like saw this, the first thing I heard was like, don't run away. Like, be mindful of like your knee-jerk reaction to just want to run away. The Chariot traditionally is like, you're leaving one city to go to the next. So you're leaving a space that you were really, really comfortable in to then travel to your like next adventure, your next big thing. But the Chariot traditionally represents Cancer, and the thing about Cancer is sometimes when confrontation happens, they can, retreat back into their shell. They have this like outer layer of protection. So this, I'm hearing like, especially if the Two of Cups to you represents a co-collaborator, or, anyone from your past coming up, or maybe someone you've discounted. Especially, I did hear apology. So if you are expecting some type of apology, just be mindful of your knee-jerk reaction. Again, our brains are these like jello computers in our head that like they work off of habit. So if you do have a habit of crawling into some type of shell or being kind of closed off, any situation, even if it's a good, just because a co-collaborator, someone's coming, back into your life doesn't necessarily mean they're bringing bad, or they're bringing the energy that they used to have. It can mean that they really are changed, or they really now are ready to work with you, if in a business setting. And, because your programmed habit is like, oh, I got to be defensive. Oh, I just got to run away. Even when good opportunities or fruitful or, abundant opportunities are coming towards you, if you, have that habit, then, it's going to, I don't want to say ruin it, but it's just not going to be as like smooth as like it potentially could be. Because I don't really, especially because the Chariot is yellow, and yellow is like, it's bright, it's sunny, it's quote unquote positive. It's not like this is a black card. So I don't feel like this is anything to like run and hide from. Interesting. As soon as I said that, it's not a black card, but it's a gray card. We have 5 of Cups, but I mean, that's interesting because if you're going to run and hide, then, or go with your knee-jerk reaction, then you might end up the 5 of Cups because, 4 comes out. This is going to be a dumb statement. 4 comes after 5, but it's like, okay, well, you're going to ignore. So now you have all these cups on the ground. You have, 3 out of the 5 are now, spilled. There's literally blood coming out of them. And we don't got to be that dramatic, but it's like, you had 4 upright and I'm giving you 1 and I'm giving you this new opportunity to start over. But if you ignore it and go with your knee jerk, so that's something to be really mindful of. Just like pay attention to the quote unquote truths your brain is telling you, because they're just like conditioned habits and not 100% always the right 100% truth. And that's up to you and your discernment and your own, intuitive guidance. But just a heads up. And then 2 other cards that came out, again, I'm not going to interpret them, are both the Lovers and the High Priestess. So, well, I mean, maybe I will interpret them. I literally did just say, like, work with your own discernment and your intuition. And the Lovers traditionally, the mountain in the background is like a decision. And, oh, interesting. It is like a decision. And if someone or something is coming back into your life and wanting to go through a new cycle, it is like, do we want to climb this mountain together? If you look at Eve, she's looking up at the angel, like, okay, she's tuning into her. I heard someone, instead of call it their higher self, their most integrated self, and I like that. So I'm going to use it, like their most integrated self, or, asking their guides, like, okay, what should I do? Do I really want to climb this mountain with this person? And again, the High Priestess is talking, like, use your intuition, like you already know. And if you use your intuition, again, the pomegranates in the back, like, represent abundance, represent good that's happening. So using that will let you know if you want to climb this mountain with this person or not. That was a lot more cards. There's a lot of things to be mindful of. So it just sounds like be mindful of, like, the totality of the situation and the opportunity, and don't just go with your knee-jerk reaction. We got another card. What is something you need to embrace? What is something you need to embrace? The card that is on the ground right now is the 10 of Swords, which I will grab in 1 second. Interesting. 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands was the other card that came out. So, interesting. We have 2 10s, and both of them are, like, not always seen as the most, like, quote-unquote positive omen, but something to embrace this week is, it's interesting because with the 10 of Swords usually is like the end, like no more. And it does kind of seem like, I forgot the words I was saying when the card dropped, but like I was thinking, like, going with the knee-jerk reaction, it's like really gonna kill this opportunity or kill this thing. So it's like, embrace the hard work that comes with really managing your mind and working with your intuition as well as your logical self. Like, it's not always easy, like, and it's not an exact science, and it's not going to be the same every single time. And so, like, tuning into the hard work that comes with that, but also, like, don't overwork yourself. I mean, that's such a classic, I think, it's a classic piece of advice for the 10 of Wands, is not to overexert yourself. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. Like, the hard work doesn't, or like the quote unquote hard work doesn't have to be hard. It's just like uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable work. But, and that's the other thing with our brains. Like, our brains think the state of being uncomfortable is forever. And so that's why we, like, avoid doing it. But really, that's not always the case. Like, being uncomfortable sometimes can be very momentary, like very, like a few minutes. But our brains make us think it's forever. So just, like, embrace the uncomfortable. Like, you'll be fine. You'll move forward. You have this 10 of Swords that can be seen traditionally as negative, but I really feel like, it's only going to be negative if you go with that Chariot knee-jerk reaction. So embrace the uncomfortable feelings this week. Embrace the hard work. It doesn't have to be hard. What's another word for hard work? I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to make this thing last forever. Why are all the cards today on the floor? I'm just drawing some astrological energies to pay attention to, which now, oh my god, it's all over here. Astrological energy that popped out and was on the floor is Gemini. So this can be, I mean, you yourself could have a prominent Gemini placement, sun, moon, rising. But honestly, it doesn't matter because we all have Gemini somewhere in our chart, whether or not it's a prominent placement. So that could be, if you do know your astrological chart, to look into Gemini and see where it's at in your chart, see how you can work with that energy. Maybe that's the space in your chart where this new opportunity is coming forward to you. In my brain, I'm thinking, okay, for me, Gemini is my 10th house. So I'm like, okay, something around, career, ultimate mission, or depending if it's in the ninth, I mean, I have it in the ninth house too, so it could be around like publishing or maybe posting videos, who knows, but look at it in your own chart and see how it resonates for you. And then I will draw one oracle card and I will read the meditation out of the book. We have 2 cards. These cards are really like coming out like right away. So we have Seed 46. And then we have Invocation, which I love this card. I don't know, I think it's so... I kind of want my like house to look like this. So let me read them out of the book. The first card, 46, Seed. The prompt for this card is do one thing each week that is a small challenge and something new for you. Interesting. A challenge. I guess another word for hard work could be a challenge. Try this for a month and reflect on what you notice. Some ideas could be reading a book for pleasure, because resting can be very hard for business owners for sure. Trying a new recipe, calling a friend out of the blue, going on a walk, sending a handwritten letter to a loved one, explore. It could be anything, which that is so interesting. Challenges, like, yeah, and it's a great way to test out how you can maybe go somewhat against your initial knee-jerk reaction and follow your intuitive guidance more. The affirmation for this card is, I am powerful in so many ways. And for 59, Invocation, we have knowing what you want, asking, being open-minded, again, not knee-jerk reaction, having faith, prayer. The affirmation for this card is, I have the answer, which is really interesting because the Lovers in the Devil card, which the Devil represents knowledge, the Lovers are in that card, and it's kind of like a consequence of their actions in a way. If you think about like the classic story of like the Garden of Eden, eating the thing, knowledge, all of that thing. So it is kind of like having the answer, like, especially when you do tune into your intuition, like that, where, if, for instance, if this is an apology, like, oh, it is heartfelt, or if it's someone who you discounted and are coming back into your life for a new opportunity, it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, actually, I know what's going to happen. That kind of vibe. It's interesting. Sometimes when you ask for what you want, it can feel as if your pleas go unanswered. But this card is here to tell you that never happens. Your prayers, wishes, dreams are always answered. And that can be with Four of Cups. That's really interesting because the person is pouting, like they're looking at the cups, or looking at the things they want, and their arms are crossed, and they're kind of like wishing for something they didn't have. And the universe is like, okay, I'm answering your wish, like, here you go. But the person's too busy, like, focusing on, like, what they have and wishing or thinking about what they don't have, that they, like, don't even notice that it's, like, being presented to them. Take a moment to re-examine things. Oftentimes the answers you're looking for are right there in front of your face. The thing is shoving it. The universe, I said it at the beginning, is like shoving this thing in your face. When you've got a preconceived idea of what the end result is, you might be limiting yourself. Try to remember that sometimes the world does for us what we are unable to do for ourselves. When you're not getting the answer you want, be open to seeing what answer arises. There you go. That's your week ahead. Just be open. Don't do your knee-jerk reactions. An opportunity is about to come, and it's about to be something you didn't think about, but it's going to change your world in so many ways. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, your interpretation of the cards down in the comments. Like this video if you like this video. Share it, subscribe. It helps the channel grow. It helps other people see these readings, and I'll see you